Hey, listen, welcome to Rauta's Black Metal Reviews. This time we have one of the best albums of the year, if you ask me, coming from Norway. Guys from Van Records and Terratur Possession were kind enough to get me a copy on vinyl, which makes this very, very special because, well, you get to see the cover art, you get to see the fine details way better than CD. I would have been personally happy with the CD, but the happier it makes me when there's the premium version of the album out there. Yes, we're talking about the fourth album by Whoredom Rife, and if you ask me, I've seen the band at least 3 times live and been listening to their albums. It's, in my opinion, the peak band of Norwegian black metal coming 2020s. So here we have the new album that came out earlier in 2024. And this is, of course, how the vinyl looks like. Very, very basic, sturdy, I guess, 180 gram vinyl here. Black vinyl, nothing fancy in terms of colored splatters and what have you. That is not important to me, obviously, because, to be honest, while those colored vinyl are always nice to look at, the real beauty lies within the covers. Look at it. This is really, really beautiful. Full of details. I don't know if this video will do justice, but at least it shows you a little bit better than what you would have in a couple of photos. On the back side of things, even more beautiful art. Just look at it. I don't know what else to say except it's superior quality. It's really beautiful, and I like these fancy details, like how this is cut into perfect shape. Now, as this is a quite of a package, I'll try to handle this with care and not remove anything else but the contents, not the sleeve too much. But I mean, if you really want to, you could just remove it like this. So, kind of a special sleeve to create this 3-dimensional thing. Which I guess is something like mandatory if you want to go fully into the scope of gatefold. As you can see, there's glossy parts in this really, really nicely detailed art. I mean, just look at the perfection here. This is like eyes making love to beautiful art, and let's hope the cardboard pieces are not bent when I put it on the top of one another. This comes with a poster, non-glossy one, which brings the art to yet another dimension. So put your eyes on it. And on the other side it goes this way with a little bit of Norwegian there. Will take me some time to pack it all nicely and put it on eBay. I kid you not. I kid you. This is of course going to my personal collection. And then it comes with a couple of cardboards, which feature the vocalist of the band. Very nice person, but such a demon on stage. It's almost like having schizophrenic experience with the man. I mean, he's a really, really nice, polite dude when you talk to him, but on stage he's like possessed creature. So this is the very basic lineup of the band. Of course, when you see them live, there are more than 2, but these 2 make the core of the band, or the band. The rest are more or less live members. Then you have this booklet, not just a piece of paper to give you lyrics and liner notes, but a whole deal. I mean, this is why you want physical products. This is something that you don't get when you're going with your streaming service things with just a stamp size photos and whatnot. You don't get to experience it 3-dimensional ways. I mean, you could just totally listen to the music while going through these excellent photos. I'm just peeking around here so I actually see what I'm showing you the proper way. So as you can see, Really, really nice photos in big size. So in a way, this is more a release of art than just music. Not to say music isn't the most important part of the whole thing here, but just saying like this is so much more than just listening it digitally. For the review I am making here, or trying to make here, I was actually listening to this on vinyl playing, which means I'm jumping up every 20 minutes to flip sides and then continue working and all that stuff. Alright, Whoredom Rife. Here it is on Metal Hug site. Founded 2014, 10 years ago, and now 4 albums in. And a couple of EPs to go with, which means the band has been always very active since 2016 when the first EP, the self-titled one, came out. After that, 2 albums back to back, then an EP, then a split, then another EP, and Winds of Wrath in 2021. So as you can see, pretty much every year things have been happening except for the past couple of years, and still only 3 years between Den Vrede, Makt, the 4th album, and this band has all, of course, been doing gigs and all that stuff, so it has been getting bigger and bigger, even though, of course, we don't really talk about the big size Norwegian black metal. I mean, the ones that started in the 90s are, of course, in a way, a lot bigger, but personally, I think this band has all they need to become really respected, really liked, and all that stuff. To be honest, they are kicking in the asses of a lot of older bands who just enjoy the veteran status and being more known. But when it comes to musical quality, to be honest, I don't think there are many bands in Norway who are ready to challenge whatever Whoredom Rife are doing. Yes, I am a fan of the band. Ever since I got to witness them, I think it was around 2017 or 2018 when they played in my home city Turku in Turku Saatanalla event. And that's when I noticed this is something that I really need to keep my eyes on. And ever since I've been, following the band and listening to their stuff. It's good, and even live, maybe even better. What is curious enough though, that people who are like thinking, okay, this is a new band, it must have some younger generation members. Well, these 2 guys are actually veterans of the genre. KR, the vocalist, is mostly known, I guess, his previous work with Blathorn back in the days. I mean, look at the years when the band was active, from 1992 to 2011. So many years ago. I mean, they didn't do a new album after 2006. So that's been buried for quite some time, and that one never was too big in terms of Norwegian scene, but yeah, they were active. They did a few albums and all that stuff. Mr. Vin, then again, I guess, is more known, Vil, not Vin, is mostly known for his work at Keep of Kalasin. Of course, there are plenty of other bands which you can see here and still active, either live or otherwise in other bands. But Keep of Kalasin, I think, is the band he got mostly known for, recognized back in the days when Keep of Kalasin was really building up and getting that stuff. My point here is not to compare, but to kind of give you a background information that these guys didn't just appear out of nowhere and suddenly start making A-quality music. They have the history, they have the experience at that shows that shines through in Whoredom Rife's music. So what can we say about Den Vrede Makt? 6 songs, 50 minutes, quite lengthy ones. I'm actually surprised that I wasn't bothered by any of the length here, because I am the one that always nags about when, albums have songs which tend to be too lengthy and they start sounding either repeating themselves or then just driving the listener to boredom, because that's so often what happens really. I mean, there are parts with so many albums where you feel like, why on earth they are doing it in such a way that these songs are just repeated, and now I'm putting this back onto the sleeve the wrong way, obviously, while I'm talking. But Whoredom Rife is somehow able to just, avoid the typical pitfalls here. My point here is they are able to do interesting riffs one after another and build it into a big colossus in a way. I mean, 50 minutes is quite a lot to swallow throughout 6 songs, yet somehow they manage to keep it very, very good. The quality is right there, and that's exactly where the experience is shown, because, like I said, if a newcomer comes and tries to make their first album, tries to make even 8-minute songs of second wave black metal, tries to make it worthwhile, it's most likely not gonna work out. Why? Because first of all, most songs with 8 minutes and also, it's not gonna work. And secondly, without the experience, without experiencing the bad ones, the flaws, and the success ones, you're kind of going to make your own flaws or failures, whatever. That's just coming kind of because, well, that's how us humans are. And I know from the first-hand experience, being there, done that. But album after album, Whoredom Rife have been able to kind of build so that while it sounds the second wave black metal, it's also very much of today. When we talk about production, it's very fitting. It's strong enough, yet not polished too much. The vocals are topping the game. They're not super raw, but they're powerful and infernal enough to really sound that they are what they're supposed to be. I'm not gonna say they're best in the business, because it's really hard to challenge some of the best in the business, but they are really good. And I think the same applies to basically all the ingredients on the album, whether we're talking about the production or individual riffs or the compositions as a whole or the general feeling with the album. Some parts are more melodic, some are more aggressive and all that stuff. They all make sense. And as such, this is a very, very well-balanced album. Now, if I have one point to nag about, yes, it could be even more memorable. I'm talking about the kind of a classic black metal hit song things. Whether we're talking about the early Dark Throne songs or Mayhems or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Be it Catharian Life Codes or, you know, some songs on the Mysteries Dom Satanas, Funeral Folks and whatnot. But really, other than that, I think this is really so good. It's able to challenge most of the classic albums out there. And when I say most, yeah, any day I will rather blast any album by Whoredom Rife than, for example, anthems by Emperor, for example. I'm saying this is way better than most albums that came out through the 90s or 2000s from Norway or most other countries as well. So that being said, when you have a beautiful version here, I'm tagging back to this one. When you have a beautiful LP with great music within, I mean, there's no excuse but to fucking buy it or enjoy it. I was lucky enough I didn't have to buy it. Well, I guess my work with Rauta has paid something, and I'm really happy to put this into my collection. I guess that goes without saying by this point of the review and all. If you ever liked Norwegian black metal, be it from the 90s or late 2000s or whatever, there's no excuse to not to check this one out. I mean, you should be checking out it already and just cease to watch my review and all. Whoredom Rife are the bad boys from Trondheim, and you should check them out live as well as on album. This is what I have to say. I think it's one of the best albums of the year 2024 so far, so it must be worth something. Anyway, see you soon with more reviews coming your way. Bye bye.